Hey everybody, I am Knox.
And I'm Knox's dad. He's the Teeny Toy Tycoon. This is our second episode of our comic show. And today we're going to be starting with...
Lil Gotham number 2.
All right. Now, Batman, Lil Gotham, all of these were holiday themed as they made their way throughout the calendar year. Came out as digitals first and then came out in print copies. To find this, you may have to go into the back issue bin at your local comic retailer. In our case, we don't have a comic shop in town, so we have to get ours out of town.
Yeah, we have to get ours out of town because we don't have a very good comic store.
We don't have one at all.
Yeah.
So we have to get ours on trips. We were able to pick up each of these, though, each month that they came out. So Batman Lil Gotham number 2
starts with Christmas.
All right. So tell them a little bit about the story.
So it starts out with a bunch of kids and the mayor at this Christmas special holiday thing. And then it goes on with Dick and Bruce talking to Commissioner Gordon, and then it shows Alfred doing all the decorations by himself, and Damian in his little Power Wheels Batmobile, and he's got a little blanket cape and a tie-on mask. Yeah, that is basically like my favorite part. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like that.
And who's the villain in this one?
Mr. Freeze, which he feels like he's the bad guy, but he does nice things, but sometimes he just takes it too far.
Yeah, there's kind of a common theme, and we'll mention this in both stories, is sort of a theme of good intentions, and they do kind of a sophisticated job of discussing the idea that means and ends, and that a person can have good intentions and do bad things. And so they take a very tender look at Mr. Freeze, in which he is attempting to shield a group of orphans from the horrors of the world, but in the process he's actually abducted them, and something that Bruce doesn't approve of. Favorite parts of this issue?
I loved the part where Damian's in his little Power Wheel Batmobile, and he's got a tie-on mask on and his little blanket cape. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny, which you may call dad jokes.
My favorite part of this one was near the end of the Christmas story. Alfred and the rest of the Bat family are actually serenading Mr. Freeze with Silent Night from outside Arkham Asylum. Kind of a sweet and tender way to end this issue.
Yeah. I agree with him.
All right, so part 2
is New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Which if you little kids are watching this and you don't know the days of the calendar, I'll just let you know this. New Year's Eve is after Christmas.
Right. Yeah, so we have a New Year's Eve story, and who's kind of the main focus of this story?
Harley, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman.
Right. And so it starts out with Selina Kyle, also known as Catwoman, in her apartment, in which Harley and Pamela Isley, Poison Ivy, break in and want to go on some hijinks.
And they just crash through a window and say, "Happy New Year's!"
Right. And what is it that they want to do?
They want to have a girls' night out and have some fun, which their intentions are to avoid Batman and make as much as trouble as they can.
Right. And how do they talk Catwoman into going out with them?
Well, I'll let you say that.
Okay. And again, we have sort of an intention, an examination of intentions. So they convince Selina Kyle that all of the crimes that they commit that night are going to be to benefit other people. So they rob a toy store to take toys to orphans. They blow up a cosmetic factory for ruining the environment. They set free a bunch of animals from the pound. Throughout each of these, Catwoman is very conflicted and tries to convince herself that each of these is okay. By the end of the issue, they are completely
knocked out, and they're just sitting on a water tower which is very dangerous. And if you like dangerous things, never go on top of a water tower.
Yeah.
Because you will be...
All right. So what did you like about the New Year's Eve issue?
I love the part, here, how you show them that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So at one point, we'll see how well you can see this.
Yeah, and...
Look at that face on Poison Ivy. She goes from quite calm to saying, we're going to water all the plants.
Yeah, she's like, we break into the garden, and then we water all the plants.
All right. So apparently Knox likes to see Poison Ivy go psycho. All right. So out of 5 stars, what would you give Batman Lil Gotham number 2?
I would give it 100.
100. Do you like this better than issue 1 with Halloween and Thanksgiving?
Well, mixing that up with Poison Ivy Go Psycho.
You like that one better?
Yes.
Okay, so there you have it. I think I still, I don't know. The Christmas piece with Mr. Freeze, I do very much enjoy that, especially that singing of Silent Night at the end. So, I guess in the long run, we like Batman Lil Gotham number 2 even better than we did the first issue. Anything else you want to say about Lil Gotham?
It is all ages.
Yeah, this is definitely an all-ages comic, as we mentioned in our last episode. Definitely G-rated, though there are certainly some jokes in there that play into the Batman continuity that many people would know and love. So that was Batman Lil Gotham number 2.
And next up is regular show number 7. And I know you're going to say we are going to add 8 in, but apparently we couldn't find it, so we'll probably find it next time, so we'll review that next time.
Yeah, and it's probably under a bed or something. But nonetheless, we have actually two-part stories in number 7 and 8. The first story is called... What was the title on this one? It has to do... Well, and maybe there isn't a title on it. Can't seem to find it inside the credit page, but it centers around Mordecai having gotten a new phone and taking what he believes to be the ugliest selfie of all time. And it's gotten sent out to all of their friends, and Mordecai is absolutely mortified because he is afraid that Margaret is going to see his ugly picture. So do you remember what they do from there?
They go into this weird selfie place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's sort of, as often happens in these regular show stories, they end up in some netherworld where all of the bad pictures of the universe exist, and they are hoping to track down Mordecai's picture and destroy it. Second part, and so there's the first part of that story concludes in episode 8. Or issue 8, excuse me. And then the second story is one called Spoiler Alert, in which Rigby is constantly using the phrase spoiler alert. And of course, that also runs amok, and there seems to be some magical quality to those words. So, what do you like about regular show? You love reading these comics. Why? Why do you like regular show?
It's just funny, because usually more guys saying stuff that is boring. And Rigby's always oh!
All right. Anything you didn't like about this issue?
I very much did not like that they always add stupid, doofy magic stuff. Because magic is not really real.
Okay. All right. Well, and I don't think we really care about real in comics, but I do tend to agree with that I think sometimes the idea of mystical world sort of gets overdone in a few of the regular show stories. But we enjoyed these first couple of issues. These were the 7 and 8 were the first issues of regular show that we had bought, having watched several episodes of the show on Netflix and having enjoyed that. So time will tell if we continue to buy this. I would say this is probably more PG rated. It's not necessarily anything that would be inappropriate in tone or language, but the idea of selfies and the internet and some of those things might be lost on a lot of young children. So that is regular show. I'd probably give it 3 out of 5 stars, maybe 2. It was okay, but it's not something, as you can tell, we haven't reread it several times since we first bought it, unlike Batman Lil Gotham. All right, in our final issue,
Action Comics Superman, which is obviously, well, you might agree with me, boring.
All right. So he's wearing his Superman sweatshirt today, but we've had a fairly lengthy conversation about Superman. So real quick, we'll recap this issue and then we'll see if we can get this Superman thing solved once and for all. So this is the aftermath of the Doomed storyline. Now, when the whole Doom thing kicked off, I was super excited because Superman's death, that happened when I was probably 10, 11 years old, and I remember reading many of those issues at that age and very much enjoyed that story. And so the nostalgic feel of having brought back Doomsday was something that I very much enjoyed. This issue is one in which we get to see Clark Kent, now sporting a beard, returning from the far reaches of the universe to come back and see if Earth is okay. He's weakened. Supergirl actually shows up to catch him as he's falling into the atmosphere, and his largest concern is everybody okay? So Kara flies him all over the planet and shows him that things are okay, but there are still many lives lost. So Clark decides to return to Smallville to get back to his roots, and this very much feels like a regrouping storyline as he begins to decide what is next for him. The issue opens with Clark in his apartment and then also ends with Clark in his apartment writing an article called Who Needs Superman Anyway, which certainly seems to call back to Lois Lane's articles about why the world needs Superman. I like the tone, though, at the end of it, where Clark has decided that the world doesn't need Superman and he feels guilty for having brought on Brainiac and the Doomsday virus and all of the destruction that ensued. All right, so nonetheless, we end with a very poignant two-page spread in which all of the people that have been Clark's great supporting cast through Action Comics, John Corbin, Steele, Kara, Baca, Lois, Jimmy Olsen, Lana Lang, all of these people that have held it together and regrouped, and that Lois believes that Superman also needs them to show him the way sometimes, and that's kind of the way they end it, and I think is a very touching way.
You forgot someone.
What?
Okay, hint.
Did I forget Crypto?
Yeah, and another one.
Who?
Okay, I'll give you his name again. So it's U-L.
Oh, Ulysses?
Mm-hmm.
That's the other Superman story. So we'll review one of those at some point. Knox has very much enjoyed the Men of Tomorrow storyline, and we'll review that in future episodes. But we started this off with you making the claim that Superman is boring.
Yeah.
So tell me why. Tell our audience why you believe Superman is boring.
Well, sometimes, like, I'm not exactly going to tell you the whole story of that, but I'll just tell you that, once Dad and I were reading a comic in my bed, and I just felt like it was too long for me, and, like, I was tired, worn out, because we were having a really fun day, and I just wanted to go to sleep. And that Superman comic kind of woke me up, and I just did not like that. That was a little bit boring.
Okay. So what is it you don't like about the character of Superman?
I do not like that, he has all this stuff where he has to, like, save people, and, like, there's aliens, because aliens aren't really real. Like, that whole alien stuff, that's just a little, a little too violent for youngsters.
So even in an all-ages Superman comic, when Brainiac shows up, you're thinking that shouldn't be going on?
Not really, because, like, with Brainiac, it's not all ages. It's rated PG-13.
You think so?
Yeah.
So what about, though, the fact that Superman, of all of the heroes, is probably the only one that we can truly call a good guy, that is good all the time, kind-hearted, generous, only wants what's best for other people? I think Superman is the most important superhero because of that hope that he gives people. He's everything that a superhero should be. And you think he's boring.
And you think Batman's boring.
No, I don't think Batman's boring. I just think he treats people badly.
You she-devil.
So, you were talking to me earlier today about the costume. Tell folks what you think of the Superman costume.
I love the tights.
So you like the old costume?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah, we were having that disagreement that I think so many people have had since the New 52. I like the update to the costume, the high neck and all of that, where Knox very much misses the old costume. So why do you think that old costume's better?
Because, well, you know, it's just tidy tights.
Okay. And I would agree with you from the standpoint that one of the things that I think makes Superman great, and one of the reasons why I continue to go back to DC Comics, is that rich heritage. Superman is a character whose history sort of has grown and modified with our own society, yet he's never given in to that whole edgy, realistic so-called superhero, where we want, he has to have flaws and has to be a borderline criminal or vigilante. And I think the thing that's great about Superman is that he's been able to stay above all of that for so many years. And so I would agree that old costume somewhat represents that.
Yeah, because, like, the new costume, I feel like, the dark blue, no tight, upper neck and dark cape, that's, like, more, evil, because, like, when kids see, like, toys or comic books or, well, anything of that, they might feel like that Superman has turned evil, but the old costume with the light blue and the light red and the tights and, no upper neck and, well, better-looking hair, that makes the kids say, oh, yeah, I obviously do like Superman. I just missed the old costume.
So what do you think of the beard? Are you okay with the beard that he's got now?
I love it.
You like the beard?
Yeah, obviously I did in the old comics.
Okay, all right. That's interesting. So you would want to see the old costume with the beard?
Yeah.
All right. Do you think the beard's going to stay, or are they going to have him shave it off soon?
Hopefully stay, because I really like that beard.
Okay. All right. What do you think about Superman being back in Smallville for his next story?
That just no.
No, you don't want the story to take place in Smallville?
No, because, like, there are a bunch of people, and, like, what if there's some apocalypse, like, Bizarro comes back, and he's just like, I will not take over your city.
Wouldn't a Bizarro story be kind of fun, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if Bizarro's the next villain? That would be sweet, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do I have to do to get to a point where when I say, "Hey, let's read some Superman tonight," you go, "Yeah!" What's got to happen? What is it you want?
I want the old stuff, like Superman Family Adventures.
Oh, okay. So you want it to be very lighthearted, funny.
Yeah, because, like, the new comics, no laughs or no, like, weird things happening. There's actually funny.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Which I guess I can't win. I felt like this was one of those timeless Superman issues where we revisited what he means to us as a character, and that is certainly the conversation we've been having here. Superman is a character that I certainly grew up with, and and sometimes we're able to agree on. You heard him reference Superman Family Adventures, which he very much enjoyed, but as far as the ongoing Superman comics, I guess I'm on my own on those. So that's it for our second episode of the Teeny Toy Tycoon comic show. Anything that you want to tell folks?
If you're into DC, watch Bad Days on YouTube.
All right.
Go find it.
Okay. All right. So that's it for our second episode. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.